Okay, well, we might be live. Give me one more second. We'll see. Let's hope so. I'm just going to hope so. I don't know why I have the hardest time with this. I'm Judy with Hildergard Girls. It is a beautiful, very pollen-filled spring day in the southern United States. And I'm going to wing it today and talk about some of the experiences that we've had that are coming to mind this afternoon and some ideas that I have about our experiences with Hildergard of Bingen in spirit. Hildergard came to me and two others in 2010, which is, I can't believe it's already been that long, but it's crazy. It really has been. And she came and first, in fact, in this room, and honestly, like right in this spot. It was in March of 2010. And she kind of announced herself and said she wanted to start working with us to share some of her new work in the world. And by late 2010, she was giving us these long meditations and announcing the name of her work, which is the calligraphy, and what her intention was. So it was like literally like 30 something meditations, which we have still failed yet to put in an ebook, but we're gonna. And she said that I was supposed to take her work and send it out to be a church without walls. And so what we did, actually it took me a couple of years, it took me a year to do it, but up in 2012, officially I finally got Facebook and blog and Twitter presence up and running on for Hildergard Girls. That's what we call it, Hildergard Girls. The blog is called Hildergard Says Hello on WordPress. I totally encourage you, please follow us on both Facebook and Twitter and find the blog, Hildergard Says Hello, because there's lots of good things that we've received that we've already been posting there that, stay there permanently. And you're welcome to download an ebook that we have there. But anyway, so I thought I'd talk about today are a couple things. I'll open with a prayer. This is one of the prayers that we received as part of the calligraphy from Hildergard. This one's called Service of the Choral. And it's sad, but you know what? I think that that's appropriate because even though we're all joyous now that we've gone through this Easter event of resurrection and rebirth, which is what we're called to do, to walk with Jesus, like Jesus, for those that are Christian. But this idea of dying to the lower self and being reborn in the higher self is a universal thought. And it goes beyond any wall of a church, if that makes sense. Because certainly I'll tell you, her lessons aren't about a church building. They're about you and your personal transformation, which is the biggest message I have to share today. But if you want to close your eyes, I'm going to read this. It's really pretty. It's called Service of the Choral. Within the sorrow of my soul sings a song and yet as yet unvoiced. When you come to me with angels, I will find my expression and all will be set aright. The ship on the sea finds its way carefully through the fragile dangers seen and unseen. Never will you vary your steady hand on the wheel, for you know the course before I set my hand on the stern. Over my shoulder you guide me. The treacherous waters are parted as the kelp which bends with the flow of the tides. All of my sorrows will be set adrift. All my pain will have an end, for you guide me to joy. The love of life is renewed in me when you set me on the shore of the new found land. Discoveries of your wonders abound. I only need to step off this vessel and seek joy at every step. The only way to the promised land is through the purification of trust. When I cross these waters from my breathing shore to your breathless, wondrous world, I'm only sure that love is the compass by which you steer. As my days fold to an end and my boat rests safely in the harbor, You have so lovingly prepared for me. It will be as if I never left. You showed me the way through the thickets unseen. You took my hand and made steady my course. Alone, yet not, I came to you, and all the angels rejoiced that I had made my journey safely. Once there, I will join in with the trumpets, with which celebrate the newcomers to our peaceful land. I will set those to the sea who care to journey and sail the dangerous course. When they remember who steers them, I will join the chorus who cries, Most Holy! You have saved me from the coral which sought to entangle me. I have a feeling there's one more page. You have saved me from the clutches of that which would stop my journey back to you. All the days of my life I will seek your solace. I will call to you when lost, and like the stars and the sun and the moon, you will be my guiding light back to whence I came. Complete, nourished, and learned, I step again on these familiar shores. I bring my treasures back to you, O Lord of wonders, O magnificent Master. I show with pleasure that I have learned to love, and you exalt me. Like a weary sailor, I collapse at your feet and am given a home again in the warmth of your eternal land. No more wanting or wandering. And I'll leave you with you with blessings. I am so loopy on allergy medicine. There's so much pollen out there. I think about this all the time, like, what am I supposed to tell people about this, and why me, and what's it all about? And you know what? It always comes down to the most simple denominator, and it's each one of us. We are called to deepen and heal within ourselves. Hildergard sent all these beautiful meditations as tools to point us into that inner self-transformation, that inner birth, that renewing, that deepening, that becoming whole. There's so many words that you could wrap around it. But from the microcosmic and macrocosmic concept that she so loved in her earthly life, as we do this in ourselves, we're changing the whole consciousness of the world. So our personal work is really significant, and that's what all Spirit is calling and singing and speaking to us about. So there's really not much more to say than that. That's really what it is. And I wonder to myself, I mean, I'll post one of these pieces, like of one of the meditations, and I'll think, there's so many beautiful things online that I read. They're so inspiring, that there's so many wonderful, wise teachers that I find inspiring. Is it necessary to have this one more thing? And the answer is yes. And the reason that I put it up there is because she asked me to. And the reason that I know she asked me to is because these words speak to people. I don't know who they are. I don't have to know who they are. I'm only supposed to follow my faith in sharing them with other people. So that's part of my work that I do, is to just carve out a little time and share what it is that's been shared with us, because that's what we've been asked to do. And I hope that my prayer for everybody is that it will bring you closer to God. It will bring you closer to healing and wholeness. I pray that for myself. That is as much my work as it is every single person. So I'm just a person who's trying to figure it out myself. So within that thought, I wanted to share a couple things that I also feel like is part of the Hildergard work. And completely at the top, it is that you should sit in silence and sit in silent prayer. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a meditative prayer. It's a silent prayer where you're sitting in silence. You're really resting in God. I am wholeheartedly a believer in that, and I believe that we're called to do that as part of our deepening. And you can use these meditations or any other meditation, but you can use Hildegard's new work as inspiration for that, to read it, be inspired by it, centered by it. There's also a tradition in the early Christian faith to use Lectio Divina, where you take a passage and you read it. Could read it out loud, but you read it several times, and then you allow those words to kind of flow over you. You can do this as part of your meditative practice, and then even just allow like what words really bubble up and speak to you. And you could also incorporate this as part of what you journal about. I think journaling is also important. Another huge aspect, and I know I've said it on another talk before, is as you meditate, you're opening this place in you, this, some might call it a psychic place, but it's really that you're opening up and you're noticing more. You're going to notice, maybe it's through dreams or synchronicity, or literally like you'll hear or see something. I believe that this is how we connect to the spirit world, and that the spirit world is full of love and benevolence, is guided by the Holy Spirit. And so I believe that that is also part of Hildegard's message. She was an intuitive, she was a psychic, and she had visions, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. She didn't say this per se, but I really feel that that's part of her mission, even coming back, is to say this intuitive aspect of ourselves is very important. It's highly valuable. It's part of our nature, and we should honor it and notice it and cultivate it, because for whatever it means, it feels like this world and spirit world are drawing closer for a purpose. And it could be for this transformation or evolution of humanity's consciousness, for the planet. I don't know, but there is something significant. Hildegard has pointed to that with her calligraphy work. And along those lines, what happened for me, because of one of my counterparts, Amy, we travel every summer to a place called Lilydale. It's a spiritualist community in upstate New York. I don't consider myself a member of a spiritualist church, although spiritualism is a philosophy that just means that they believe in the next life, that this life and that life are both real. That's the simplification of it. But what I have found is so extraordinary for me. It's been so healing and confirming to go to a place that completely, every summer, and spend wonderful time with people that I've met and go to interesting lectures and things. I want to talk about that more later in another talk. But I wanted to just say that that's become important to me, to honor that aspect of myself and to learn more about it. And there I have found incredibly wise people, teachers that I have learned from, that have encouraged me in different ways to honor that aspect of myself. And so what I want to just share is that this summer I will be there, and what I'm planning to do is to try to do some of these live stream chats with some of these great teachers. And it would be such a privilege to be with them and to have them share some of their wisdom and how they walk the path to God, and how connecting intuitively with spirit, how they value that, some of their insights. So I'm excited about that possibility. I've got to go off and ask everybody about doing that, but I have that goal. So just stay tuned. I'm going to be up there in July. So anyway, I'm going to close. I've got people coming home pretty soon, and I'm so excited. I had like a minute at the house without anybody here. This is not a Hildegard thing, but I wanted to read it to you because it's kind of fun. This actually came from Spirit, and Amy received this, and it was just so interesting. I thought I would read it to you because we would get these kind of interesting beings, all sorts of different other beings that have come and spoken to us besides Hildergard, but our mainstay really is the Hildegard work. So, but anyway, again, I just wanted to share this with you. This is, we titled it The Veil. Between our planes of existence lies a beautiful filter which maintains the balance of intention. Each time a thought enters the web of humanity, it enters the structure we call the abladai. I can use abladaya. It looks very Greek. Ablodaia, abladaya, or the matrix, as it is known to you. But that was interesting. Between each layer or plane, this is how all the dimensions are kept peaceful and perfect. One who is higher may always visit the other lower planes, but it is only those who are ready who may proceed to the higher plane. Thus it has been so forever. While many may still come to help those surrounding you in this fifth dimension, the ability for those to rise above in meditation and sleep has grown harder. The balance which forever has stood as whole for your planet has tilted and must be arighted. Fear, which leads to anger, must be balanced by love and acceptance. Acceptance of what is, what will come, and of all the creatures on this earth are the steps to correction. She wrote here, at this point it flashed through my mind that there was a large amount of information for a guide or helper to be sending through, and the response came back as follows: saints don't tire, souls do. So we're wonderful little receivers, but sometimes we can only receive so much. There will be many who understand how to slip these bonds of disappointment. Do not share everything, but know how it works in your heart. And that's it. But see, I just thought that was amazing about those different layers. I mean, I've read that in different things, but I still, to receive that extraordinary thing from a being in spirit, some angelic being, I suppose, you only get a feeling sometimes. Sometimes you just get a sense about them. But I just thought that was really, really something. Well, I'm going to close today. I want to remind you that I'm Judy with Hildergard Girls, and if you want to read more about some of what we've received, I highly encourage you to follow us on Facebook. That's my main place I post things, and then I push them to Twitter. But it always posts to Twitter as well. And we're under the handle Hildergard Girls, which is pretty easy to remember. And then on WordPress, to follow to our blog, you can type into Google Hildergard Says Hello. That's the title of the blog. And you'll see everything that comes up. I've been bad about posting to the blog, but I actually posted something just not long ago, maybe a few weeks ago. So you might want to go read that. It's pretty interesting. And honest to goodness, we're still deepening and understanding what it is she sent to us. And even how to understand it from a big picture, if you can imagine that. Because we're just normal people. I want to say that too. It's kind of funny. I mean, in life, you have these kind of, important things happening. But I have to say it was really overwhelming. It was overwhelming for all of us when it happened. When all this happened, it was good, but it was still overwhelming. And then you go back to your normal life, and you're trying to incorporate your spiritual deepening and the meaning of an experience into your normal life. So that's been part of our task, is to receive something is not to be wise in it. To really sit and to deepen in it takes time. I think it'll take the rest of my life. In fact, it's all I can do to keep reading and exploring and trying to understand and trying to meditate enough and trying to journal enough to where I feel like I'm really being more whole, that I really am doing what the whole purpose of it is. And I loved the prayer that I read, because I feel that God is always walking and watching and waiting with us to hold us and support us in this process, but it's up to us to do the process. So with that, I leave it to you with love and blessings, and hope you have a great day, and happy spring. I hope it is spring there. I hope you don't have as much pollen as me, but if you do, you can follow me. I take the allergy medicine and try to stay out of it until it stops falling. But anyway, glad to be with you, and until next time, bye-bye.